Cherry.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Yesterday, the Secretary of State finished his speech by saying, and I quote, "For many years there's been a creeping sense in this country that politicians say one thing and then do another." Now, I'm not sure which country he was talking about, because of course the UK is a union of more than one country. But what I can tell him is that insofar as the country of Scotland is concerned, the sense that sometimes politicians say one thing and do another is more than a creeping sense. It's a well-founded and widespread concern, and it relates in particular to the party opposite, their Prime Minister and their leader in Scotland. At the end of tonight, we're going to be voting on an SNP amendment, and I welcome the support from other people for that amendment. That amendment is in part designed to ensure that the party opposite delivers on promises made by politicians to the people of Scotland during the 2014 independence referendum. Promises that were made by Ruth Davidson, such as voting to remain in the United Kingdom was a guarantee of our EU citizenship, and promises made that Scotland's an equal partner in the Union. Listening to the debate yesterday, Mr. Speaker, you could be forgiven for thinking that Scotland is seen as an unwelcome distraction from the main event. The message seems to be get back in your box and know your place. Gone are the love bombs, and they're replaced with instructions to sit down and shut up and put up with it. But you see, Mr. Speaker, the EU referendum didn't take place in a void in Scotland, separated from what had gone before. What happened in 2014 was that the question of Scotland's future membership of the European Union was central to the independence referendum. The SNP and the wider Yes campaign warned that a no vote was a threat to Scotland's ancient trade links, which the Right Honourable Member for Gordon, my friend, spoke about earlier so eloquently. And we said it was a threat, that voting to remain in the UK was a threat to our membership of Europe because of Tory Euroscepticism.
The Honourable Lady give way. Yes, I'd like to ask the Honourable and Learned Lady if she agrees with me that there's been much misreporting of the recent Supreme Court decision. While they established that Scotland need not be consulted legally, there was no requirement that Scotland should not be consulted constitutionally.
Yes, indeed. The Supreme Court, my honourable friend is absolutely right. The Supreme Court said, and I quote, it's from paragraph 151, "The Sewell Convention has an important role in facilitating harmonious relationships between the UK Parliament and the devolved legislatures, but the policing of its scope and the manner of its operation doesn't lie within the constitutional remit of the judiciary." So basically, it's up to the politicians. Now, to get back to the point I was making, when we in the SNP warned that staying with the UK was a threat to our EU membership, the No campaign said we were scaremongering. Ruth Davidson said no means we stay in the EU. The Lib Dems, the Labour people who were in the Better Together campaign all said to us that voting to remain part of the UK guaranteed our EU membership. The question for the Conservatives, Labour and the Lib Dems now is this: what are they going to do to deliver on the promises they made during the independence referendum? What are they going to do to protect and guarantee that EU citizenship which they told us was guaranteed by voting to remain in the UK? The Scottish Government, unlike others, has produced this document, A Place in Europe. It has a detailed plan. It is a plan which we heard from the Prime Minister's own lips today is possible, because it is possible to have a soft and open border between a country that's in the single market and a country that isn't. So the question is, for all people in this House, who Labour, Lib Dem and Tory, what are you going to do to deliver on the promises you made to the people of Scotland? Or are you just going to sit there and admit that those promises were lies?
Jeffrey Clifton.